KYGAN CASSIUS Rifle TV in association with MTK Global. I'm joined by Judge Hennessy. People can't really see how big that chair is, Mick. Like
it must be big if I'm sitting in it. It's dwarfing me.
Well,
so.
it was dwarfing Ron McIntosh, so that kind of gives you an idea.
Yeah, we're a different sort of big, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
It is what it is, Mick, but it's a hell of a chair anyway.
Yeah, for
How
sure.
are you, Mick?
I'm not bad, KYGAN. Good to see you.
You too, mate. It was frustrating for you, obviously, a couple of months ago with what happened, having to kind of pull the show at such short notice. I mean, it must have been a bit of a nightmare, Mick.
It was hard. It was horrible. It was something I've never dealt with before. So, how do you react? And it took weeks of the fallout. It just took weeks of sorting out, and it was at least 2.5 weeks before we got this fight back on schedule. So I'm glad we're here. I'm obviously a little bit nervous because you think to yourself, have I done the right thing? Is lightning going to strike twice? So I'd be lying if I said I weren't nervous about things, but.
But I mean, frustrating for Alex, but you've done well to kind of put it right in a couple of months, because these things can sometimes, venue, dates, etc.,
yeah,
be long-winded, but you've managed to kind of secure a date this Saturday within a couple of months.
And you know what, KYGAN, I felt like I had to, because when I was looking for someone, a big fight for Alex to break into the big time, there weren't anyone else I could find that I could get that would press all the buttons. And Francisco has only been beaten twice in 28 fights, and he's only been beat by the very elite big stars in the division, and he's gave them all they want. And had close fights, especially Tevin Farmer. So I needed someone who was truly world class, who I could get over here, and someone that Alex could make a statement against. Because at the moment, I'm not gonna be able to entice the really, really big names, because I need to get Alex out there and make him known by not just British boxing but world boxing.
Also on the card features John Joe Nevin, who's had a stop-start career, circumstances kind of outside the ring, etc., injuries. He hasn't really kind of showed nowhere near his potential, but he's in action. He's fighting the brother on the card this week, Freddie, yeah. So, in a good fight against Freddie Fonseca, John Joe Nevin.
Oh, brilliant fight. And another fighter in John Joe who's got a great story like Alex Dilmagani, a fantastic backstory of being up against it. I mean, it's a real rocky story, and the fact that he's here and he's fighting at this level is an incredible achievement on its own. But what a talent he is. I mean, I followed him most of his career before the Olympics. I watched him in WSB, I watched him in Ireland. What a phenomenal talent. And people thinking that he's not ready for this truly world-class fight are absolutely wrong, because as great a fighter as Freddie Fonseca is, as dangerous a fighter as he is, as world-class as he is, John Joe Nevin has been there, done it and seen it all. And he's got wins over fighters that have become superstars in the amateurs. And WSB prepared him well, and let's not forget he's had 13 pro fights as well. So to come back from what he's come back from is just got to take my hat off to him. It's a major story, and if he brings that commitment to this fight, then he's on his way to stardom.
So if you haven't got a ticket for York Hall, tune in.
Absolutely.
On Channel 5 this Saturday night.
Yeah, from 9 p.m. It's a great time. 9 p.m. to 11, 2 hours. And my understanding at the moment is that Alex Dilmagani is going to open the show at 9 p.m. Probably start his ring walk about 10 past, quarter past, and then we will go into, after that fight, we'll go into the John Joe Nevin fight, the second half of the show.
We'll look forward to it. How's life in general, Mick? How's promoting life for you at the moment?
It's been hard, KYGAN. It is what it is. You have your ups, but I've had my serious downs, and I've been down, and I'm trying to work my way back up. So that's where we're at with it.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's so much going on now. There's kind of not a transition period for British boxing, but there is a lot happening. Obviously, overseas as well. I mean, for yourself, Mick, who's kind of been involved with so many high-profile fighters in the past, etc., etc. Kind of, you just said there now, you're trying to sort of get yourself back up to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's one of them really. You work your entire, like, it's a major part of your life to build, stars to basically take you to that next level in every capacity, and to have them sort of like leave you once you're on the top of the mountain is it ruins people. I'm surprised I'm still in the business.
Why did you say that? You're surprised you're still in the business? You've been around for so long, Mick. And
I'm just, it's a lot to take. Like, with different fighters, if you're working with fighters and taking them from amateur to the pinnacle of boxing, you're spending 7, 8, 9, 10 years in each other's pockets, and you get seriously attached. There's a bond. Some of them you sort of like you think of them as family. You love them. So that you lose faith in people in general. Forget what it does to your business, how it cripples your business, and what it does to you financially. But just from a personal point of view, and believing and loyalty and having faith in people, it knocks you for sick. Like everything you thought was there, all of a sudden isn't there. So it's one of them. It's a hard pill to swallow, and I've had it quite a few times now. So.
Hughie Fury's out in action at the end of this month, out in Monaco. So Hughie's kind of trying to build himself back up again as well. Needs a good couple of wins, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. This is a fight so that Hughie can try and work on some major things that Peter's been working with him in the background. Peter's a perfectionist. Hughie's a young heavyweight. He's learning on the job, and although I felt like he should have definitely been world champion in the Parker fight, he's had to regroup, and he's had some tough fights, and he's had some bad luck. So Peter will find a way, and Hughie is, one thing about Hughie is he don't shy away from anything or anyone. He's a real hard case.
Will fight absolutely anyone as well.
Will fight anyone. He's rock solid. I mean, the shots he got hit with by Povetkin, I mean, I would say 95% of fighters would have been flat on their back. When Peter gets it 100% right with him, he's going to fulfil his destiny. Definitely.
Did you watch the YouTube fight the other day, Mick?
I haven't seen it. I've seen clips.
What did you make of it all, Mick? Like just the thing as a whole, and obviously the numbers, etc., were through the roof and everything. But just as an event or a spectacle, what did you make of it? Were you for it or against it? Or
I'm for it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. I think it's great. I'm a bit sort of. I know they're driving all the numbers and they're making everything work, but it is like if you come from an old school boxing background, Billy Joe Saunders and Devin Haney on the undercard just don't sit right.
Both current world champions.
Yeah, both top fighters, and just don't sit right. But I understand. I mean, like the audience. The excitement, and look, let's face it, whatever anyone thinks of the two fighters, fair play to the pair of them. Yeah. Fair play for putting themselves through that, fair play for getting in the ring, fair play for going at each other the way they did. I see the first fight, I haven't seen the second fight. I've heard they went at each other. But I think it's great, and fair play to KSI, because he gave quite a lot of weight away as well, didn't he?
Yeah, and people kind of had their opinion, but I mean, it is what it is. You can't really, I suppose you say you can't ignore the numbers, but I mean, I think their subscriptions from DAZN were like through the more than they've done for anyone, sort of who's fought over the last sort of year. So it's just the question of should that kind of take place over the actual quality of the fighters or the fight. But
look, there's got to be a fine line somewhere where it can it definitely has to happen, but not at the expense of top fighters. So I don't know what the compromise is. I haven't thought long and hard enough about it, but it needs to be one because it's a great format. It's it's where we are in this digital age. Like it's how things need to be, and but just there's got to be a way, and even from the YouTube stars. There's got to be a way of them just respecting the heritage and the world titles that the other fighters hold. So, even though they're driving the business, I still feel them as learning the fight game and turning pro and stuff should still say, yeah, we are driving the business, we are getting compensated incredibly, but you should still call this top of the bill because of its heritage and background.
Yeah, parts of that I agree with. I mean, but I suppose the other day the people who were in attendance were coming to see them, I suppose, and the people tuning into it are coming to see them.
Yeah.
So if the demand is there, then I suppose, but there is that thing of, you've got people like Devon Haney and Billy Joe Saunders who are effectively fighting on the undercard of two novices, but that's what it is. But it is a changing world, Mick, as we know.
It's a juggling act. It's hard to. It's one that has to be done because it's great for boxing, and the audiences are phenomenal, aren't they? I mean, it's just like, boxing's on a real high, isn't it?
All right, Mick. Well, I'll let you. I'll relieve you of your court duties. This is mad. People can't really see the setting here, but it is quite. Yeah, did you find this place, Rich? Oh, there you go. There's a bit of trivia for you.
Yeah. No, he told me about that. Yeah. It's fantastic. Definitely come back here again.
Yeah, for a press conference, not to actually, be in court. Judge Maynard. Mick, thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to a great show on Saturday night.
Brilliant. Thanks, Kevin.
Top man.
Good seeing you.